All right, today we're diving into Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural. And let me tell you, it puts forward this really bold idea. What if you have the power to stop reliving your past and literally create a brand new future?
So, let me ask you something. Does your future ever feel just like a rerun of your past? You wake up, you have the same thoughts, you feel the same emotions, go through the exact same routine. It can start to feel like no matter what you do, tomorrow is just going to be a slightly different version of yesterday.
Well, if you feel that way, you're definitely not alone. It's an incredibly common feeling. But here's the kicker. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, you can absolutely change the script. He argues that it's not some kind of life sentence. We might be biologically programmed for the past, sure, but he says we have the tools to completely reprogram ourselves for a brand new future.
Okay, so how do we even get stuck in the first place? Well, it all starts with this biological feedback loop. It's a cycle that basically keeps us anchored to who we've been instead of opening us up to who we could become.
And this is the core of it right here, the thinking-feeling loop. You see, Dispenza explains it like this. Thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings, well, they're the language of the body. So you have a thought, right? Your brain releases these chemicals that make your body feel a certain way. But then your body sends a signal back to your brain, which causes you to think even more thoughts that match how you're feeling. And just like that, you're in the loop. Around and around you go, biologically locked into the very same state of being.
So think about how this plays out every single day. You wake up, and your body, which has been conditioned by years of this loop, it starts looking for its familiar chemical cocktail. Maybe for you, it's anxiety, or maybe it's unworthiness. And those feelings, which are literally records of the past, they start to drive your thoughts. See, he says you can't think greater than how you feel. So what happens? You end up making the same choices, which lead to the same behaviors, creating the exact same reality. Your past is literally, biologically, creating your predictable future.
Okay, so that's the problem. It sounds a bit grim, right? But what's the solution? This is where it gets exciting. Dispenza's whole premise is that we, regular, common people, can do the uncommon. We can actually break out of this cycle.
And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of his mission. He's not just talking about abstract theories. He's obsessed with scientifically measuring the biological changes. We're talking brain scans, heart rate variability, even gene expression, all to prove that this transformation is a real, measurable, and repeatable process.
And that word supernatural, it's really important to understand what he means by it. It doesn't mean you're going to get magical powers or something. It's about becoming supernatural. It means moving beyond your current limited self and tapping into the powerful, latent systems that are already inside you, your nervous system, your brain, your body's own energy to create real, measurable changes in your life.
All right, so how do we actually do this? Let's get into the method. The entry point, the doorway to all this change, it's not a physical place. It's a specific state of being, a moment in time that we can really only access through practices like meditation.
Now, according to Dispenza, the goal of meditation isn't just to chill out and relax. Nope. It's a very specific mission, to disconnect from the three things that keep your old identity locked in place. First, you have to get beyond your body and all its conditioned feelings. Second, you get beyond your environment with all its constant triggers and reminders of who you think you are. And finally, you have to get beyond time itself, that linear march where you're always obsessing about the past or worrying about the future.
And when you successfully get beyond those three things, you arrive. You land in what he calls the generous present moment. This is the sweet spot. It's the place where you are no longer defined by your past. You just become pure consciousness. In this state, you're not really a somebody, you're a nobody. And it's in that space, that nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, that's the quantum field. That's where all the possibilities for your new future exist.
Okay, so this is where the whole process gets really concrete and, frankly, super cool. Dispenza argues that to actually select a new future from that quantum field of possibilities, you need to create a very specific biological signature.
And you can see the two states of being laid out so clearly here. On one side, you've got the incoherent state. That's where most of us live most of the time, right? Living in stress, driven by survival emotions like anger and fear. Our brain is firing all over the place, totally incoherently, kind of like a lightning storm. But on the other side is the coherent state. This is the state of creation. Here, your brain and heart are working together in this beautiful, synchronized, orderly pattern. You're feeling elevated emotions, think gratitude, joy, love, and your attention is laser-focused on a new possibility.
So here's the formula, and this is absolutely crucial. You need a coherent brain, which gives you a clear intention. That's the what you want to create. And you need a coherent heart, which gives you an elevated emotion. That's the feeling of your future, as if it's already happened. When you combine those two, the thought and the feeling, you're sending out a powerful new electromagnetic signal that starts to literally rewrite your biology and draw that new reality right to you.
So what does this actually look like in practice, in a real person's life? The book is filled with incredible stories, but one of the most powerful, the one that really sticks with you, is the story of a woman named Anna.
Just look at this timeline. It's incredible. Anna was living in a state of extreme stress, completely biologically stuck in the trauma of her past, and her body was breaking down. It was manifesting that inner state as one severe illness after another. But then, she hit rock bottom, and she made a choice. She decided she was going to change, and she dedicated herself to this inner work. And over the course of 2 years, just through meditation, she went from being near death to being medically confirmed as completely, totally healed. From all of it. And here is the absolute key to how she did it. Every single day in her meditations, Anna literally refused to get up as her old self. She combined a crystal clear intention for health with the elevated emotions of love and gratitude. She was teaching her body, down to the chemical and cellular level, what it would feel like to be healed, long before she was actually healed. Her body, which is the unconscious mind, it started to believe it was living in that new reality. And guess what? It began to signal new genes and literally build a new, healthy body to match. And ultimately, this whole idea, everything in Dispenza's work, it really boils down to this one powerful question for you. If you could actually break the habit of being your old self, if you could stop thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions day in and day out, who would you become? It suggests that your future self isn't some distant person you have to wait for, but someone you can start becoming right now.